tax company return. And here we have already logged into the iTax portal, and we are in the home area where we get the integrated iTax dashboard. So the moment you're here, you select the tax type to be income tax company, and you select the period. So I've already selected the period ranging from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. So all the data that I'm going to get here is the data that was already transmitted to KRA. So I have all my sales that I generated through the eTIMS, no matter what solutions I used. In case I used eCitizen, I used the eTIMS portal, or even the TIMS machine, this will have all the populated data for that particular period. So I have got my sales and the total amount below. I have my credit note. So these are the numbers of transactions, and below here you'll get the total. Then on the other side, I have got the purchases and the expenses. So I have the purchase transactions, the total value for those 160 transactions is below. Then I've got the credit note, and the amount for the credit note is below. So if you want to get the summary, the detailed, now the 68 plus the 5 credit notes for the sales, and the 160 plus the 1 credit note, all those item by item transaction, you click the income tax transactions. So remember, these purchases and these expenses, and also the sales, for those who are VAT registered, you'll find that when you're filing your VAT, you only used the purchases that had VAT. So the purchases where you bought from people that were VAT registered and they gave you an eTIMS which they had the VAT. So remember, if you bought from other non-VAT registered taxpayers, you'll find that your purchases at the year end is way more than the purchases that you have in your VAT. So you also need to have done the VAT analysis to establish the same, so that you know how much. Because even for those who are in the special table, so special table is whereby a person was PIN was put on hold because of VAT irregularities, meaning when you bought from that person, they were not able, you were not able to claim the input VAT that you bought at that particular point. But when they were removed and 6 months had already passed, so remember, on your VAT, you're supposed to claim a purchase invoice within a period of 6 months. So if that person was during that period they were in the special table, meaning you were not able to claim that in the right time. But now you will find that since they have already been removed, if they have been removed, the total has already auto-populated. So we have to confirm both. And for purposes of just our report, establish the invoices that were in the VAT and the invoices that you have in the income tax company. So if you want to get the detail, you just click here, the income tax transaction. The moment you click, it's going to ask you, do you want to download the pre-fill form? And for us, we are going to say, okay. So once we say okay, we are going to find that we have downloaded a zip file. And this zip file, we have got 2 sheets. One has our sales and another one has our purchases. So when we open those sales and those purchases, they are going to be aligned transaction by transaction. All the invoices are going to be listed there together with our purchases. So that is how we get our data, our sales and our purchases data for the year. So once everything is ready for our report, we now have to transfer that to this particular template. In this template, you get it from the iTax. Let me show you how to download it. So how we download the populated data. It's still on the iTax portal. So we go to returns. We say we want to file the return. It's going to take us to this section where we have to select the tax obligation, and for our case, the tax obligation is the income tax company. Then we click next. So the moment we click next, just here below we have the download autopopulated IT company return. So that the moment we click that, we'll be able now to download the pre-filled form. So this pre-filled form, the moment you open it, it will already have fed the personal identification number, the tax type, the period that you are filing, or all these details have already been fed. Including now, when you go to the last section on the tax computation, you will also find that in case you have any withholding, it will already have been fed. So that is mostly what is fed. So the other details for the profit and loss, the balance sheet, the way and team have to come now in feed. So we are going to feed our data in the business section. We feed in all the details. Then we come and feed in our balance sheet. So in our profit and loss, for our case, we are going to manual invoices, in the 18s or non-18s invoices. But if we have for the case that you have those, the manual one, in case it's for the purchases, so assuming we have got sales of 100 million, we have the auto-populated purchases, or the purchases that were already transmitted on KRA of 50 million. And but our total purchases is 40 million. It's 90 million. So meaning we have to, the 40 million, we are not going to put here 90 million because 50 is what has already been transmitted. So here we're going to feed in 50. The other 40 will be fed separately on the manual and e-teams or teams in expenses. So this one I can do on a separate video. So you click here and you put the 40. And this you will already have uploaded prior. So you see, when you go back to the profit and loss, we have 50 million being our profit because our sales is 100. Our transmitted and items invoices was 50 million. We have got our profit of 50. But that doesn't mean that we're going to pay tax on the 50. So on the tax computation sheet, we have the additional sections that were added. We have number 6, 7, and number 8. So number 6 is the manual and items or teams expenses. 7 is accounting and accrual adjustment for income. 8 is accounting and accrual adjustment for expenses. So as because we are adding the expenses slash the purchases, we have the 40 million. But if there are more, we will include it. So you see now our taxable income has reduced by the 40 million. But this one, remember, we have to upload the breakdown separately and also attach the supporting documents for the same because they are going to be reviewed later on. So it means now in our profit and loss, if for example it's rent that had not been transmitted or we had no items, then it means that we're not going to include that rent here. If it is some stationaries and printing, maybe fuel, the only thing that we are going to include here is the ones that we had items, and they are part of the purchases and expenses that we have downloaded from the iTax. Any extra will be lumped up we are going to include it here. But the breakdown is already transmitted to KRA. But remember now, on your report, it has to include all of them. But when you're filing, you have to separate. If rent on the purchases and expenses you downloaded was 4 million, but the actual rent was 8 million, then it means that on the P&L you include 4 million. But here now, the other 4 million, you lump it together with the other purchases and expenses that you want to add manually. So we're going to fill in all the details, then go back to iTax and upload. So once we have fed all the data, we are going to come to the last section, and we have a place whereby we have to validate. So we're going to click this and validate. So the moment we are validating is for us to get a zipped file, which we are going to upload in the iTax. So let us validate this. So here we are going to click upload file, and the one that we are going to select is the one that we have validated. It is going to be a zip file. So just below here you can see the allowed file type is a zipped file. So let us go to the upload form and select the document. So here we have already uploaded the file, and it's a zip file, which is the recommended one. Then we do not have any property, so either select yes or no. So kindly make sure at the moment you don't make a mistake of selecting yes. Otherwise, KRA is able to get all this data. They are now, it means they are going to come and follow up with you. Then you agree to the terms and conditions, then you click submit. So you're going to click submit. So the moment we click submit, it's going to ask us, do you want to upload the form? And we click OK. So our return has been submitted successfully. And once it has been submitted successfully, you're going to get a tick, which is a green one, showing a good thing. Then you are going to get the download return receipt. So this will be our acknowledgement. So we can download that and see how it looks like. So we have downloaded our acknowledgement receipt, and this is how it looks like. It has the PIN of the taxpayer, the return period, the name, the obligation. So here it was the income tax company. We have the tax station, the return number, the acknowledgement date and time, the barcode, and now the particulars of the return. So this is how it looks like. So for this taxpayer, they do have a payment. So we're going to go and see how we go about that. So for us to generate a payment slip, we come to the payment section, payment registration. We click e-payment, we say next. It's going to ask us, do you want to proceed? We say okay. So once we are here, we want to select our tax head, which is income tax. Our tax subhead is income tax company. Then the payment type is self-assessment. We are now going to get the details below. So we select that. We will click add. So it's going to ask us, do you want to add the details? We say okay. Just below here, if you're paying by RTGS, you select, then you're going to input the details of the account. If you want to use other modes of payment, maybe the bank, the M-Pesa, you can select. So as we're going to say other modes of payment, then you click submit. So when we click submit, it's going to ask us, do you want to submit the details? And we say okay. So here we have now our payment slip, which was the payment registration was done successfully. And now we can be able to download the payment slip. So we're going to click download payment slip. So we have successfully generated the payment slip, and this is how it looks like. It has the taxpayer, the payment registration date, the payment registration number, it has a barcode, it has the details of the taxpayer, the amount. So here we generated for income tax company, how much they're supposed to pay. Just below here, if you're using the M payment, that is the M-Pesa, we have the pay bill 22222. the account number which you're going to feed in the amount. So it's very easy. And this one needs to be less than 250,000. If you're using the bank, then these are the authorized banks that you can use. And these are disclaimer that if this slip is lost or defaced, you can reprint. So basically, it doesn't really limit you. So if you lose this, you can reprint another one. So meaning you can regenerate from the portal, or you can visit KRA. So that is the step by step. So the moment you do the payment, you are done. You are cleared for the year 2025. So ensure to maintain your records for 2025. Remember, the law says that you're supposed to keep those documentation for a minimum period of 5 years, and that is in the law. And you doing a self-assessment doesn't mean that it is final. It can be subjected to further review by KRA, either through a trigger of or maybe a mistake that you have done, or just a way of them doing the verification exercise. So see you in our next video. Please follow, like, and share our videos. In case you have any queries, just contact us. We're going to leave our details below. So see you again.